This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me at Backup Bradley above at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. So let's go ahead and get into this thing, shall we? So we got a lot to talk about. One, this is a fun thing from James Rule XRP, and I did this too. I checked on the link and looked at the Bitcoin ATM map, and you could put in, your address or an address that's near you and get an idea of about how many ATMs that service crypto or Bitcoin around your area. And I did my particular area, and it looks like about 15 to 20 ATMs that service crypto or Bitcoin around my area, and I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that, so that was like a fun thing to find that out. One of the things we're going to look at here is we're getting ready to look at an article that an analyst is seriously talking about the idea that XRP could outperform Bitcoin in 2021. Now, in the article, I think they're referring to not price, but I think they're referring to percentage moves, right? How much it could move within 2021, like 100%, 400%, 5,000% move, whatever that particular percentage is. But we're going to take a look at that, and we're also going to take a look at the idea that there's other analysts out here, and I'm talking, and not analysts, but professionals in this space, like Dan Morehead from Pantera Capital, who says we could see 100,000 plus Bitcoin in 2021. Now that to me is pretty remarkable. By August, in fact. So less than a year from now, we may see a plus $100,000 Bitcoin. Now that's pretty remarkable. Now, I don't know what the percentage gain is right off the top of my head from 15,000 plus to 100,000. But if we're looking at the potential of having more percentage gains of XRP in the same time frame, wow, would that be a remarkable year. I do believe that price action from XRP is absolutely imminent. And the reason I believe that is because we've heard Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple, express very directly to all of us that they see more regulatory clarity to the tune that they've considered moving the headquarters to wherever that may be, whether it be Singapore or Japan, clearly signaling that if they go there, they will begin to be able to use it in those areas, which I find a little funny right on its face, because if they've got the clarity, why aren't we using it anyway? Because they do have offices there. So we'll keep an eye on that. I digress. No one has answered that question for me yet in a rational way. And let's move on from here. Thank you to XRP Crypto Wolf for the information. The current Biden expected to hire crypto-minded Gary Gensler as financial advisor. Biden is considering tapping the relatively progressive, cryptocurrency conscious Gary Gensler to help oversee Wall Street, who is also well acquainted with the cryptocurrency world. Now, one little sidebar here to this, and I was having a conversation with Rob Licker this morning. Shout out to you, my friend. One a great contributor and mind in this space. And he found this article and shared it here. And it basically talks about the fact that as of 2018, Gary Gensler understands XRP to be an unregistered security. Woo, the plot thickens. I don't know how he feels now, 2-3 years later almost. But the reality is if he felt that way in 2018, I think, we better pay very close attention to that, depending, obviously, once this whole entire constitutional process of seeing the dispute and the recount and all of that takes place. And by the way, I say this not for either side, but as an observer and as a person who is happy to be born in the United States and proud of it, no matter who the president is, I tell you, I take great confidence in the exercising of democracy. And that comes with some rules and it comes with some framework. And I know that the last time that we had a major election for a president, it was contested there and even went to an impeachment process and availed nothing. And that was a process that, everyone had the right to pursue. And I think it was the right thing to pursue it because they had the energy to want to do it. And they felt like they had the information that was worthy of doing it. And they went down that rabbit hole. They found nothing. And I don't think we're any worse for the wear for it. So in this particular case, if we have somebody who wants to dispute it, it's their constitutional right to do so. And we will see that process through at the end of the day, no matter what side ends up sitting in that seat. I believe democracy wins. That's where I'm at. So we'll see the process through, and the media is not my champion. So I'm going to wait for electoral officials to actually come out and tell us exactly what's going on. And I would encourage anyone out here, no matter how you feel, to do the same, just to temper what you're thinking until you get an actual real official telling you that the actual process is complete and resolved. And that is all we got to say about that. And we'll keep an eye on Gary Gensler, and hopefully, if he does find his way into such a position, he has a new perspective and better, more clear understanding about what XRP is, because it is not a security. Let's keep this going here. JP Morgan says institutions ditching gold ETFs for Bitcoin. Ooh, yeah. Now that is very interesting. Knowing that Square cannot keep up with the selling of Bitcoin versus the mining of Bitcoin that they're doing. They are outpacing with the selling versus the mining. Now, that to me is remarkable. And then you add in, like I said earlier on a live show, if you add in PayPal to 300 million customers, imagine what this starts to do. You start multiplying these numbers and bringing them into the equation. You're talking about supply and demand and creating scarcity. And it could easily send Bitcoin and a lot of other coins skyrocketing. Be very easy to see that. Okay, moving on here to back up this whole idea and notion, Veteran Investor says that major investment banks will own Bitcoin or something like it. Mutual fund legend Bill Miller said the risk of Bitcoin going to zero are lower than they ever have been. So this is pretty remarkable and predicted more institutional investments moving into cryptocurrency. So this is pretty incredible. It was not that long ago, ladies and gentlemen, that you couldn't get an investor to say something like this. I mean, that to me, I tell you, is, this is not to be overstated. I don't think you can, in fact, especially if you've been in this space a while. You know what I'm saying and what we're reading here and how profound it actually really is, right? No. Are they saying XRP? No. Are they saying what the price will be? No. But look who's saying that this is going to be something that institutions and investment banks will not be missing out on. Well, that's pretty remarkable. Now, I wanted to tell everybody and let you know really quickly right now that the Digital Ledger channel, my second channel that I have, is going to be hosting some of my live shows. Make sure you go subscribe to this channel, the Digital Ledger channel. If you put in the Digital Ledger channel, you'll see it come up right here. And there's the logo, right? The banner, and then this is the actual logo. Just hit the like and subscribe. We are going to start bringing back a few live streams during this time period, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We have missed each and every one of you so much, and we want to give you a shout out. We did our first one this morning on Sunday morning, and we will be doing, I guess, it may be spotty for the next couple weeks, but we're going to do at least one a week. We may bump it up to 2 a week. We'll see how it goes. But you guys are pretty remarkable. But in the meantime, go subscribe to that channel so you don't miss it. These live streams are going to be really great because all of you that contribute to the chat and the live streams are some of the smartest people I've ever come across. So very excited for that. All right, so moving on, this is from James Rule XRP. Given that 2020 was arguably canceled by the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic, it is likely that 2021 could witness an acceleration in new regulatory actions and formulations for crypto. Well said. Well said. And that comes from Crypto News. And we take a look at this, and I'm not going to read you this whole thing so you can breathe a sigh of relief, but I will just tell you they have pointed out in this article every single thing that we watch so closely. whether it was recent legislation taken and passed in Korea, or whether we're talking about the Financial Conduct Authority, or whether we're talking about the Financial Action Task Force, which I highlighted here for you could see, and the European Commission, right? The whole business about KYC, AML, right? Whether they're talking about even down here, the U.S., they're talking about German law, Russia. I mean, everything here that we've been covering. And this reinforces to me that whether you've heard it a lot or a little, we're focused on the right things, ladies and gentlemen. And that is a huge plus for each one of us. I really do believe that. And you have to go back and do these checks and balances. You want to make sure you're paying attention to the right things, that we all don't take a fork in the road and start going down the wrong road. And we use one source or one piece of information, then we end up building around that. And then we create a bunch of hype, and then we're up a tree and we can't get down because the tree's too tall. All right. So here it is. We look at this article here, and this is pretty exciting to me. I got to say, XRP could outperform Bitcoin in 2021. Now, they're obviously talking about percentage moves and not price, right? So it's a percentage swing, right? So that's what they're talking about. And then they go through here, and basically through this, they talk about the huge move that XRP had in 2017. Remember, the bull run overlapped 2017 into 2018. And they're talking about specifically the 2017 year and the gains that it had. And it goes through here and breaks it down. And obviously, I don't need to go through this because it really just talks about the fact that they consider Ripple possibly exiting the USA and reestablishing their flagship headquarters in another part of the world may become the catalyst that they need to jump off XRP in the manner that they do. One thing I find interesting about that is what I asked in the front of this video, and I've asked in several videos. They have offices in these places where they say they have clarity already. So what in the world is the reason why they're not using XRP for its full-scale intended use in Japan right now? What's the reason they're not using XRP for its full-scale intended use in Singapore right now, or the UK, or in Europe, or Malta, or Liechtenstein? I think you get the point now, right? So the reality is that if they're not using it for full-scale intended use at this moment, are you convincing me and telling me that I need to be convinced that it's the filing of new papers that suggests, now it says we're in Japan, that all of a sudden XRP can be used now? I thought the clarity was the issue, not where your actual office was. And by the way, they have offices in these respective areas. So there's something else to all of this if a move does end up spurring a acceleration in the use of XRP, which, listen, I'm fine. Move to Planet Xanadu if you need to. If that's what's going to help us, I'll help you pack the boxes. I mean, let's get it done. At the end of the day, I'm invested in XRP. Ripple has always done what's in the best interest of Ripple and XRP. And I think if they were to move, they would continue to do so in that manner. So we'll keep an eye on that. But let's take a look at this because Bitcoin could hit above $100,000 by August 2021. Now, this just isn't anybody here. This is Dan Morehead, the founder and CEO of Pantera Capital. Wow. Recently made a bullish forecast for the price of Bitcoin in a letter to investors. I'm not going to read it to you. I think you get the gist of it here. Now, like I said, I don't know what the percentage swing is between 15,000 and 100,000 in percent move, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot. And that's a college term. And the reality here is like, if we think about the idea that this gentleman is telling us that we could see XRP in percentages outperform Bitcoin in its moves, man, we're talking about a heck of a move here. So now let's just look at this for fun, because if you invested $100 in Ripple in January of 2017, what would you have now? And this was updated in 2018. So we're looking at this after just 1 year of buying into 2017. So from 0.006 to $3.02. That's what we're talking about. And basically they're saying January 2nd, 2017, it was 0.006396. Investing $100 in XRP at the time would have enabled you to purchase 15,634.77 XRP tokens. And at the time they wrote the article, when it was $3.02, your 15,634.77 XRP purchased would then have become a whopping $46,904.32. Wow. Are you kidding me? That is a heck of a move. And, you know, I know that we saw, 36,000% gains, and I don't know what this exact spread is right here. I'm not going to sit here and try to work it out for the moment, but I think you get the gist of it, you know, and the reality here is that they're talking about some massive things taking place, and I believe that these are all going to be from a culmination of, you know, regulatory, not just clarity, but cohesion collectively on an international level. I believe that that is really what's the holdup here. I feel like because XRP is a bridge currency, and by the way, we have seen this piece of news, which is great news, and originally came out written in a Japanese article from the Post called Nikkei, I believe it is, and I Google translated that document at the time, but they don't always translate well from the Google translation, as appreciative as I am of those features from Google. But I waited a couple days. I saw a couple articles now come out in English, and it is what we think it is. And they are getting ready to test XRP in a $6.6 trillion foreign exchange market, which again is now talking about its real intended use here, a bridge currency to the world. And they're talking about a test, right? But they didn't say exactly when it would start, but they're talking about a test. And that's what's important here is that, you know, they are going to test it. And I believe it has been tested for years. And I believe that this is a part of what would be a rollout. And they begin to phase it in and roll out the information to the rest of the known world about what exactly is taking place. It's very, very exciting. So when you think about the possibility of, you know, XRP being tested and eventually implemented in the foreign exchange market for settlement between all currencies, its full intended use, and you think about the idea of the regulatory clarity around the world, not just domestically here in the States, which we know we want to get that final thing or two to kick the logjam open here. You know, like I said, I see from the international level to the domestic level and use case utility being put to work. We are seeing a real inflection point here. Again, a culmination of many things, you know, domestic, international regulatory and compliance issues and use case utility having a chance to really put that asset to work for what its intended use is. This is an inflection point for the entire digital asset space. So that's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you check out the links in the description box and the comment section. And I want to show you because I really do feel like, you know, cryptos are a new asset class, just like .coms. Don't believe it. It's still true. Example, vacationrentals.com sold for $35 million. Well, you know what? Our dear friend General Mills owns, and I'm so proud of him for this. This is amazing. Vacationresorts.crypto is what he owns. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go for $35 million, but I'll tell you what, sex.crypto sold for $90,000, and this space and .cryptos haven't even gotten going yet the way .coms did back in the day, and sex.crypto sold for $90,000. So focus on the industries and space where you can figure out a .crypto if you're going to get in here and do this kind of a thing. Because again, he focused on what I thought was a great area of industry. He got vacation resorts.crypto. There's no trademark infringement or anything like that, right? He didn't use a company's name, .crypto. However, you know, he chose to come at it from an industry, and that's the smart way to do it. Just like I focus heavily on different kinds of blogs, .crypto, right? I own celebrityblog.crypto, right? And things like that, because I know people will write about those things that can bring a lot of advertisement for whoever eventually wants to buy and own that .crypto crypto name. So make sure you check that out, because I think, plus it's fun. I absolutely love it. If y'all don't know it, I love it. And I also want to help each and every one of you, when you get really good cryptos, help promote you here on the channel to find a buyer and help you find that buyer for you. All right, that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys have a great, happy Sunday. If you haven't gone over, hit the like and subscribe at the Digital Ledger channel. Watch that morning stream that we did, and we keep an eye out. We'll get a notification, hit the notification bell, hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below, share with somebody you know. I'll catch all of you on the next one.